Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chair Yoga. This week, we're focusing on delight. The word delight has shown up, and I just wanted to share that with you and offer you a little challenge, an inner challenge to start looking for that. The poet Ross Gay has written a book, The Book of Delights. He's been interviewed a couple different times this past week on various podcasts, so I had a chance to listen to him once again. It's really a wonderful practice, and that's again what we do in yoga, is to develop practices that help us to live a better, fuller life. So being mindful of the little things of our life that just give us pure delight is something I'm going to just offer that as a challenge, that you be on the lookout. And then for those of you who can join in on Friday, let's share those. Let's just share those with one another before we do our practice. That would be fun to do. So let's get started with our transition. So if you'll find your nice comfortable seat, that you're coming forward a little bit, you're not going to rely on the backrest, you're going to come forward and get your feet grounded. And so we're just starting this transitional process, just getting more mindful, kind of being aware that we want to get away from the distractions of our space. So trying to bring your full focus and awareness to the spot you're in. And close your eyes when you're comfortable with that. Well, just a minute, back up. I wanted to show you a mudra. Sorry about that. And that's just real simple. It's that you just stick your little finger out and have your fingers, your other fingers, just held down by your thumb. So it looks like that. This is called the gesture of the inner smile. So, hands with that kind of the back of your hands laying on your thighs, the gesture of the inner smile can be held in any way you want to. It can rest on your lap, or if you want to hold it out in front of you, that's fine too. It can be held in any way you want to. This posture here, this mudra, is designed to give us this awareness of delight. And we're going to call that our mudra for the day. So now closing your eyes and finding that gesture of the inner smile, or inner joy, if that resonates more with you. And then be aware of how your body is experiencing your breath. So we're transitioning, just our basic transition, to become more aware of our breath and our body. Bringing ourselves into the awareness of both breath and body sensation. Sit up tall, feel the length and strength of your body as you lift up the rib cage. Feel the balance right to left in your pelvis. Sit bones are a great way to reference that. So you feel the bony prominence in your buttocks and you find that balance right to left. Sit up tall. See if you can even out your breath. And that's best accomplished by counting, by just counting how long it takes you to inhale. And then exhale the same length. So maybe you find, a breath that takes 3 counts to inhale feels comfortable and good. So then you're exhaling 3 counts, just like that. It's just real simple. So we're balancing our inhale and our exhale. So it's just a conscious awareness of bringing balance into the body, into the felt experience of the breath. And by counting, and by being very mindful of that, it focuses your mind. So it gives our mind a task to do to keep us focused on the here and now. You don't have to count long. Once you feel like you've established that, then let go of the counting and stay with the experience of the breath, trusting that it is even and that it is benefiting you in that way. Holding at the same time this gesture of the inner smile. Now I want you to turn the corners of your mouth up now, so you're creating the smile of your mouth. Any amount, tiny little smile or a big old grin, your choice. And just notice now as you're breathing, and trust the breath is exactly right. Just notice how putting your mouth in the shape of a smile changes the way you feel. Even if it's very, very subtle, like you think, I'm not buying into that, I don't believe that. Just check how changing the shape of your mouth can literally change the way you feel. Now, we've got lots going on for us today. We're using all of the strategies we can come up with. We've got our hands in the mudra of the inner joy, the inner smile. We're putting a smile on our face. We're bringing ourselves into full awareness of our breath and body. You've got a good shot, a good opportunity here to really change the way you're thinking or feeling into something really joyful, really lighthearted. And you know, that phrase, any amount, serves us well, doesn't it? You know, maybe for whatever reason, the various things that might be going on in your life, in your world, that, you know, it seems like a leap to think of very joyful. But any amount would be great, wouldn't it? Any amount. I'm going to ask you to just join me in the prayer I often use to begin my own practice, and particularly to bring myself into my teaching mode. And that is this: may what needs to be said is said. May what needs to be heard is heard. May what needs to be released is released. And that which can be embraced is embraced today with grace. Stay with your breath. Maybe relax your face. You can make your hands, take them out of the mudra if it feels more comfortable to you, so that you feel relaxed throughout your body. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. Good, let's flutter the eyes open. Get used to the light, just takes a moment. And let's sync up our breath now. Inhale with me as stretch your arms up, palms will come together overhead. Exhale as you bow into your own heart. Give yourself a smile right here. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around, big sweeping motions now. I'm going to do it again. Inhaling up, reach up, lift up through your rib cage. Exhale, smile into your heart. Inhale up. Exhale all the way around, go way back, a big wow, you know, like a backstroke. One more time. Up. Lift up through the rib cage. Exhale, smile into your heart. Up. All the way around, all the way around. Open your hands wide and create a T shape with your hands facing forward. Palms are facing forward. Stretch your hands open like starfish. Stretch them open. Spread your fingers apart. Feel the stretch through the palm of the hand all the way out. So both arms feel like you're trying to get them a little bit longer. You're trying to stretch your arms to be a little bit longer. Press your feet to the floor. Now, if you're using your block, great. I just didn't think of it, to be honest. I didn't grab it right away. I've got a plan for it later on in our practice. But if you're using it for your legs, awesome. Please continue to do so. Just because you don't see me doing doesn't mean you're not supposed to. I want you to use that block however it works well for you. Let's create that diagonal line. So make sure your arms are in a single plane. Don't get one arm ahead of the other. Make sure your arms are in the single plane. And let's move our head and that's going to stretch our neck. So take a look up. Take a look at the hand that's reaching up, the starfish hand that's reaching up. Breathe in, breathe out. Now notice if by moving your arms to a diagonal line, it gave you a shift in your pelvis. What if you're no longer balanced right to left? So write that, make a correction in your body so that you are more balanced right to left again, because it's very possible that extending your arms like that will shift you in your pelvis. So see if you can notice that and then make the adjustment as you look up. And I want you to gently move your head around. So it's not just staring, you're not just staring and looking up there and not doing any kind of movement. You're exploring. We're looking for sensation. So these are tiny micro movements, but they're movements nonetheless. Now gently drop your chin down towards your chest to move to looking to the hand that's reaching down. And we'll do the same sort of exercise where we're gently moving around. We're going to get curious about how flexible we are in our neck right now this morning. So gently moving around, we're exploring and looking for more. We're just giving a loving awareness to our neck by exploring its range of movement. So that takes some paying attention, some subtle adjustments, some full breaths in and out. Let's gently bring our head back to its neutral position. Extend your arms back into that T and open wide. And let's take a big inhale there, pulling the hands way back. It's very open. Exhale, close it up. And when you do, round the back body into the C-shaped curve. Inhale, open, wide open, very extended spine. Exhale, round through the back body. Let the chin kind of tag down toward the chest bone. Let's just move with that. Vinyasa flow. Inhale, open. Exhale, close and round the back body. Now hold it in the rounded position and extend yourself forward, laying your chest and belly down into your thighs. Keep your eyes wide open as you look down and underneath yourself into a forward fold. This is where we shift our breath into big belly breathing. You want to feel the belly as you breathe. So you're going to very consciously deepen the breath into the belly so that you can create more circulation in the internal organs. So it's like you're giving yourself a massage on those internal organs by big belly breathing. Try to surrender the weight of your head. I know it's very tempting to kind of manage it by lifting it up just a bit, but that's putting strain in your neck, or it's certainly using your neck muscles when we have this great opportunity to not use the neck muscles too much, to just surrender the weight of your head. So if you could do it, please invite that in. One more big belly breath. We're going to jump our hands to our thighs, squeeze our elbows into your waist, create the diagonal line of your back body now. So you're in that, you're not all the way up, you're in that diagonal line, head, neck, and spine in alignment. Spread your arms away from you like wings. Press your feet to the floor so you feel the engagement of your thigh muscles, and you can feel your perineum engaged as it hovers above the chair. Let's take an inhale with our mouth in the shape of an O, a vacuum hose as we lift up the perineum. Exhale any way you want to. Stay with that inhale coming through the O-shaped vacuum hose as you lift your perineum. Big breath in. Exhale whenever you need to and release it all. One more time, lifting the perineum. Push your feet to the floor. O-shaped mouth. And release that all the way up now. Let's come back to that T shape with our hands, just with our arms extended and our hands wide open like starfish. Let's create that, the diagonal line again with using the other side now. We want to change the direction of it. So make sure your arms are in a single plane and that your pelvis is balanced right to left. That just because you moved your arms like this, like I said, that can oftentimes kind of shift you into the pelvis, into a leaning from one side to the other. And it's not very useful for our body's alignment. So let's be aware of that. Okay, let's take a look at the hand that's reaching up. So you're on a mission to stretch, to get some movement and attention into your neck right now. Take some deep breaths. Be aware of your breath for sure. And explore the sensation. It could be very different from the other way. You know, when you were looking up on the other side, might feel way different on this side. So we just meet ourselves right where we are and work with that lovingly and accepting all of that. Get curious. What little movements might feel good, might feel productive. And when we change sides, when we change the direction of our gaze, we're going to drag through the center, letting your chin drop, and then look down to the hand that's reaching to the floor. Find your breath. Maybe you can do some little movements here, little micro movements. I find that the downward gaze seems to have a less movement available to me. Don't know why, I'm not sure about that, but it feels like there's not as many opportunities of movement. And then come back to center where your head is lifted, and we're going to open into that wide open space, the extension of our spine. Feel the shoulder blades drawing toward each other on your back body. Let's take an inhale. Exhale, round through the back body. So we close it up, palms come together, tuck the chin, and we'll move through that vinyasa. Inhale, open. Exhale is closing. Inhale, open. Smile, come on. Exhale, close. Let's do it again. Inhale, open. Oh yeah, and exhale, close. We're gonna come into a forward fold again, dropping down, letting your chest and belly drop into your thighs. Let your head hang. Big belly breaths now. Big belly breaths. Exhale completely. Jump your hands to your thighs. You can trust your breath is taking care of itself as you move yourself up, squeezing your elbows into your waistline, balancing or creating that diagonal line through the back body. So the back of your head, your neck, spine feel like they're in alignment. One more round with me as you spread your arms away from you like wings would be. Let's get back into the perineum. Inhale with the O-shaped mouth. And you feel like you're floating yourself off the chair. Exhale, relax back into the chair and let the breath just settle itself down. Inhale, suck it up. Big inhale, hold it. Exhale it out. Inhale, press your feet, lift your perineum. Exhale, release. Good, all the way up now. Palms come together. Inhale, look up. Exhale, bow into your heart and smile. I'm doing it. Inhale up. Exhale, all the way around. Good. Here's where I want to use the block as we get started here. I'm just going to have it at the ready. So I just put it out there so I wouldn't forget. I want you to take kind of center yourself in the chair. Make sure you feel sort of centered and take your leg off to the side. So you've got a forward facing leg that's in its right angle. And you've got a side facing leg that also is in its right angle. So if, to get yourself to fit on your chair, you got to do a little, shifting around and shimmying around a bit. Take your time now so that you feel like what I'm talking about is a forward facing leg, grounded, knee is in, your leg is in that right angle. And, you can align yourself in the forward facing position, or you'll be able to come into a side facing because your leg, the other leg is side facing. You see what I'm talking about? So we've got our legs in a kind of a right angle here. This position here, by just bringing your forearm and elbow into that side facing leg, is a traditional pose called a side angle, done in the Warrior series. And it's nice for creating more fluid movement within the hips, a better range of movement, a strong range of movement, and especially toning those inner thighs. So here's where the block, I'm going to bring it real close to my foot. So I want you to use your elbow, use your forearm. You can place the forearm and elbow right on top of that leg, or you could also push it into the inner thigh. So you decide what seems to be the most useful. And I want you to get your ear to face that side facing leg. So you're really aware that your ear is in line with that side facing leg. And this leg stays strong. Don't let it collapse. Pay attention. This one's still strong. It's like your standing leg. This is the one that's going to be your anchor. Let's start with this. Really getting our head lined up so it feels real comfortable. It's lining up your ear is a way to really give some security to the way you're holding the weight of your head. Very mindful about that. So let's start with just lifting up. So we've got an arm reaching up to the sky. So we're getting some length on the side body, and we've got this nice supported side angle on that side facing leg. Let's deepen that by extending the arm past that top ear. So now you can lift up through your rib cage. I want you to imagine you're lifting your rib cage away from the side facing leg. You're trying to pull your rib cage away from that, lifting it toward the sky, toward your ceiling. Breathe in, breathe out, see what you can soften. I'm really using my arm to prop my leg open so that it won't collapse. And I'm feeling this strength of that, how that leverage really gives, it seems to give me more power. Good. And then let's come all the way out of that and just shrug and, do the kind of reset that our body often needs. We're going to use the block in a couple different ways. Let's try this. Get your block and use it, just get it to come in front of your front facing leg. And I'm just using it as a place to go to. I'm stretching myself down. I put the block in front of my toes. Keep that side facing leg open and stretch as far as you can. Keep your, trying to keep your sit bones down on the chair. You're not lifting up or hovering off the chair, stretching there. Just stretching. Maybe you can walk that block a little further out, maybe not. Deepen the breath. Your breath is your best teacher. Remember, when you can find that smoothness of breath, you're working within the range of movement that your body feels safe and comfortable. Let's come back up. Maybe you need to reset your body or make sure your breath is all caught up. And let's have that very same movement over to the side facing leg. So maybe it's different here. Maybe moving in this direction, you can't stretch as far away from yourself as you did on the front facing. It's like, okay, that's interesting. And feel where you're feeling it in your body. What's getting a good stretch? What's creating more space for you? Deepen your breath. Let your breath be your guide. Manage the weight of your head. Don't make your neck pay the price. You can just manage the weight of your head just fine by bringing awareness to that. I feel like my feet are really pressing down, but particularly the side that I'm leaning into. I'll bet that's true for you too. Just be aware. When we come back up, reset the body. Let's try it. How about in the middle? So we'll put that block in the middle and we're going to go for that reach. Now this one's going to get a little trickier, so you might want to watch me. I start with that center stretch just like we did, no difference really. But what I'm going for is I wonder if I can lift my bottom right up off the chair and just steady myself with that block. So I'm going to practice coming down to the chair and then lifting up off the chair, maybe just a hover. Maybe I come pretty good into my legs. So your choice, you do it once, you do it 4 times. It's up to you what feels good, where you feel the empowerment of that. Really focus now. You don't need to look at the screen. Stay with what you're doing. Let's get both hands to our legs. So one hand at a time comes back to our thighs, a familiar move to us, and come back up. Let's reset the body. Deeper breaths. I'm bringing my block real close to that side-facing leg on that inner ankle. Let's see if we can deepen that. When you're ready to go, when you're all caught up with your breath, we're coming back into that side angle, but instead of resting our forearm on the thigh, let's see if we can reach for the block instead. So we've got our hand. You know what I do? I make a fist and I kind of press my knuckles into that. That's how I do it. So I'm pressing my knuckles in. You can touch it any way you need to, but that just wanted to give you that information. So now there's this leverage. My arm can be pressing against my inner thigh, so it keeps it opened up. And again, I'm using my ear to align with maybe the hand on the block or however it feels in a good alignment for me. Once again, we can lift up. Now there's kind of a long line between our extended arms, both up and down, both arms extended. Deepen the breath, feel it in your body. Now I want you to take that top arm and go back. So it feels like you're twisting a little bit. You're trying to open up your chest. You feel a little bit of a revolved nature of the trunk of your body by pulling your arm back. And then maybe you start to turn your head just a smidge so that your gaze can change to look up. Pay attention to that and see how your breath is responding if you feel the fullness of your breath still present in your body. Beautiful. Let's get that top arm to come down, and we'll lift ourselves back into a neutral position. Reset the body, and as you reset the body, let's reset ourselves on our chair so we can do that workout on the other side. Front facing leg, side facing leg, both legs in a right angle. Feel your feet to the ground. Keep your block within an easy hand's reach. We're going to just do that side angle. Bring the forearm and elbow to your thigh, and we're aligning our other ear now. We change sides. Start there. Get a little leverage. You can pull back that back shoulder. I wish I'd have thought of it on the other side. Let's try. Get the back of your hand to reach behind you and press. That gives us a good alignment, doesn't it? And once you feel set, this feels like, I think I got it. I think I know what I'm doing. Well, let's get that arm to reach up. We've already trained that shoulder to pull back. So straight up. And then face it down. So you're reaching across your ear. Now, this is where we lift the rib cage. You want to lift your rib cage up toward the ceiling. So you're pulling your rib cage, the whole chest cavity is pulling away from your side facing leg and lifting up, lifting up. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay with your breath. Feel it in your body. Be real curious about where you feel this. Let that arm get you up and out of there. Reset the body. And then we're going to use our block for some stretching. Start with that forward facing leg. Stretch it out. So you're folding down into that front thigh and keeping the other leg propped open. Deepen the breath. Just trying to stretch yourself away. Let your arms pull away from with your body by, just using that block as a place to come to, kind of a stepping stone here. Deepen that breath, and then let's come back up. Reset the body. Make sure you're all caught up in your breath. We're going to go to our side facing leg now, turning our body, get the block and stretching in this direction. Both legs stay open. Feels different, doesn't it? Going to the side facing leg feels different. It's not quite as accessible, at least not for me. There's a little bit more of a stop sign in there, but feels good. Feels like a good stretch. Deepen the breath here. And maybe you use your thigh. I'm just thinking, I'm going to put my hand on my thigh to get up. That feels like that's going to be more supportive. I'll bet you found that kind of thing too, maybe on the other side. Center now, this is where we're going to do that lift if you choose to. If this is something that's available to you and you want to practice that, we're going to be lifting ourselves off the chair, which is the chair posture. That is a Uttanasana is a posture in our traditional yoga sense, and that is called chair pose. So this is when you're using your strength of your legs to keep your body elevated. So let's try it. So you can reach forward and just hold it for the stretch. That's one thing you could do, and maybe that's just fine and comfortable. Or you can boot yourself right up off the chair so you're hovering above the chair or really up there and into the thighs as a source of support for your body. So really utilizing and strengthening, toning the thighs by lifting yourself up and off that chair. Good. One hand at a time comes back to our thighs. Let's bring ourselves up. Get your block close to your side facing leg. I got my block close to the ankle here, inner ankle. And instead of leaning back into that with our elbow, although that's an option for you, obviously, if that's a better way for you to come into it, you don't need to use the block as an option. Then I'm making a fist. I got my knuckles pushing into that And again, I'm going to use the back of my hand. Sorry, I didn't think of it on the first go. That does help. Align those shoulders, and then we can extend that arm up. Now find your drishti. Let's just use that. Like, just how are you going to turn your head? One challenge I'll offer again is to pull that hand back. Pull that top hand back. Your arm is coming back, and you're going to feel a bit of a twist. Keep your legs really grounded, your feet grounded, your legs are strong. Deepen the breath. Get that top arm down now. Let's gently turn your head to a more neutral position. Use your thighs to help you come up. Hands on the thighs help you come up. And we're going to bring ourselves back to center, back to a neutral position. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Catching up with your breath. And then change the direction of the shoulder roll. If you haven't done it yet, let's do it now. Good. And then let's do a couple more of the open and close. So I want you to open your arms wide with the hands spread open like starfish. Feel the shoulder blades coming toward the midline. Exhale as you round through the back body and bring your palms together. So inhale, open. Exhale, close. Round the back. Open, let's smile. Exhale, close. One more flow of the vinyasa. Inhale and exhale, round through the back body. Let's come back to our neutral position. I want you to get a hold of the chair. So I'm just reaching back. I can easily, kind of access the backrest in some way. I'm close to the seat, but, see how you can hold on to the chair. So you can really train yourself in that figure 4 lifting we've done before, where you're going to just lift your leg up and kind of create that figure 4. And you're not going to use your arms. So we're putting them back there, getting our arms back there. So it keeps our spine long. And we're going to move through this opening the hip this way. So just lifting up the leg and letting it cross into that figure 4. Beautiful. Let's stay with that same leg. We were moving. Let's grab hold of your shin and lift that, hug your knee into your chest, hug your thigh into your chest. Now let's spin that foot around. So that foot that's up in the air, we're going to spin it around so you can feel the action of the joint of your ankles, the joints of your feet and toes, moving, spinning, breathing. Hugging the knee into the chest. It usually gives you a nice relief in the low back. It's welcome. Good. Let's get that foot back to the floor. And again, reach back, hold on to the chair. And let's train that other leg to lift up and cross over. So your outer ankle is kind of finding the top of your thigh. And you're going to lay it on there. Just feeling the pattern. We're trying to create a pattern of movement in the body. That's probably rarely, if ever, that we encounter in daily life. So we're just trying to encourage different patterns of movement in the body so we maintain a good range of movement, especially in our hips. Good. Let's come up right now and we're going to hug that knee into the chest. So grab hold of your shin, pull that leg in, and we'll spin this foot around. Nice long spine. Get a lot of movement now. Try to work out all the kinks. Because when you're moving through the joint like this, I've said it many times, but I want to remind you, this is a way of creating synovial fluid in those joints, so it makes them happier. They're more juiced. I can't think of a better word. They've got the fluid they need to perform well. Good. And then let's get both feet to the floor. Let's take a pause. Close your eyes now. Let's find the gesture of the inner smile. Pinky fingers out. We're just letting our other fingers be held down by our thumbs. So palms up or down, or however that fits for you. Hold the gesture of the inner smile. Close your eyes and maybe form your mouth into that gentle smile. Feel that breath following the whole length of your spine. Let the inhale ascend from the base of the spine up through that central channel all the way to the crown of the head. Let the exhale descend back to the base of the spine. Inhale ascends through the central channel. Exhale descends back to the base of the spine. Creates a nice long breath, both in and out. All the way in, all the way out. Good. Make a soft fist now. Let's open the eyes and make a soft fist and just start, moving through your elbow joints. We're just going to bend and straighten and bend and straighten. And I want you to let that kick you up and come back. So we got our fists. We're going to kick it up and come back with the strong arms. It's like we're trying to build our biceps here. Center yourself. Be very mindful of landing in the chair. And we're going to meet in a standing position. Reach up now. Separate your hands into the palms coming together overhead. Exhale, smile at your heart as you bow into yourself. Inhale back up and exhale all the way around. And this time I want you to bring your fingertips to touch behind you. Just fingertips touching. And then just moving side to side. So get a nice micro bend in the knees. You don't want to lock those knees. Let's straighten out the feet. So we're in our mountain pose. We have that mountain pose mindset, strengthening the legs, positioning them just so. Fingertips touching, and we're just moving side to side. Find a rhythm of your breath. And then just interlace the fingers. So this is what it looks like behind you. You've got your fingertips touching, and you're just going to interlace, slide those fingers together so they're interlaced now, and pull those interlaced fingers and knuckles away because they just can lock in like you've super glued them. Now bend the knees quite a bit. Get a lot of buoyancy in the legs for a standing forward fold. So we're going to let our head drop down, let our interlaced hands reach up over, way up toward the ceiling behind us. Look down and underneath yourself, maybe down and underneath that chair. Notice and be aware, be comforted by the safety net of your chair right there. You could sit in it anytime. You could just relax your arms back down and have a seat. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice the surrendered nature of your head, neck. Let's release our hands like ragdoll arms. Just ragdoll your arms. Jump your hands to your shins so you're below your knees and your hands are on your shins so you can lift yourself up about halfway. Tuck your chin in towards your throat. Again, I can feel the chair rubbing against the back of my legs and I can feel the support of that. Jump hands to your thighs, way up by the crease of your legs and thigh and hips, I should say, way up there. And then come up, then bring yourself all the way up and take a pause. Let's deepen the breath. Let's use the chair to support a standing posture. So however you position yourself, so you've got the handle of the chair. This is how I like to do it. And I want you to just start lifting a bent knee up and bringing it down, lifting it up. And maybe you practice a couple other moves, but for sure, just get some movement of the legs. Standing leg is near the chair. you know, if you're thinking, well, I'm trying to practice a balance, so you could bring your hands to your waist or hands to the prayer position like I'm doing, or hold on to the chair, no reason not to. And the pattern I'm doing is not something I'm insisting on. I'm just saying, get your leg in motion with a bent knee up and bring it down, maybe a couple kicks, just to strengthen that balance now. Let's hold the bent knee up. Interlacing your hands under your thighs is a good option. If again, you're trying to work on challenging yourself, maybe you would skip that part, but getting your hands underneath your thigh is great. And let's do that spinning of the foot. We did it just a moment ago. Let's see if we can do it while we're standing up. So circling your foot, either using your hands under your thigh or not, that you're trying to really create a more challenge in your balance. Deepen the breath. And let's get both feet to the floor now and shake that out. Really shake it out. And get up on your toes. Just get up onto your toes. So if this is a toe balance, where you're going to get up onto the toes. So you can lift up and bend the knees in that. So play around with that. Rock onto your heels and let your toes come up. So you're kind of stretching through your feet in various ways. And then let's get the other side. So we're going to start, take that bent knee up and either kick it out or just simply moving. So we're back, you know, we've changed our standing leg. So we're strengthening now the other leg. So it is getting the body, our weight training, if you will. So we're putting some effort of creating more good, healthy bone mass in that standing leg, as well as this balance opportunity. Let's deepen the breath. Make sure you feel caught up. Remember how balancing is always benefited by a focused, gaze. You get your eyes to look at one thing that usually offers you a steadiness. It's almost a source of grounding for you. Let's get that bent knee up, foot is up. So either interlace your hands under your thighs and we'll spin that foot. You could let go of that, let your leg just come up with its own strength and let that be a more challenging way to do it. Find your gaze, find your full breath in and out. Remember, do what's best for you. And you got the chair right here. You can use it in any way you want to. What serves you best. And we'll get both feet to the floor. Shake it out. Get both legs to really shake. Let's do the same thing again. We're going to lift up onto the toes and down. Maybe you bend the knees. How about walking? We used to do this a lot with a downward dog, where you were walking the dog by getting one heel at a time up. That feels good too. And speaking of downward dog, let's turn our chair in that way. So hands can come to the chair seat and we can walk away from it into our downward facing dog. Make sure your feet are straight. You want your feet to be parallel to each other, so you don't want the toes to point out. You want them to be straight forward toward the chair. Try to straighten through the legs as best you can. Try to eliminate the bend of the knee, any amount. And remember, your body weight is entirely held by your hips, your legs, the strength of your hips and legs. It's not about holding body weight in your arms and hands. That is not there. So make sure you're entirely held up. It feels to you like your body is entirely held by your leg strength. And that the arms extended just give you a way to stretch through the side body. It gives you a way to open up and expand through your chest cavity. But don't be shoving your body weight into the hands on the chair. It won't feel secure. It'll feel like you're in a dangerous position. So get your body weight into your legs. Deepen the breath. So exhale completely every time. Then start to walk toward the chair. Lift yourself up. Walk toward the chair. Now let's bend the knees around the back body into the C-shaped curve, tagging your chin towards your chest. And keep your chin down like that as you come up very slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Find a mountain pose, palms face forward. Let's deepen the breath. Inhale up, palms come together overhead. Exhale, smile into your own heart. Inhale up, and exhale, go all the way around. Eyes are closed here. We're going to do a circle of breath, inhaling through the front side of the body as the breath ascends through the front part of your body. Eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. The exhale starts when that breath has reached the crown of the head, and it will descend back through the back side of your body. I want you to pay particular attention to the experience of the exhale moving through the back of your body. We have so much awareness of ourselves from the front. I'm going to say 99.9% of our awareness of ourselves is the front. So bringing your awareness to your back is a felt experience, intentionally bringing your breath down through the back. So you feel more complete, more aware and complete in your experience of yourself as you bring that tender, loving awareness to the back as a felt experience. One more full breath like that. Flutter the eyes open. Inhale up. Exhale heart. Inhale up. Exhale, we're going to come halfway down. So I want you to land your hands on the shins. So you're below your kneecaps. Hands are on the shins. I'm going to show you a side body in case you want to get out of the pose and look to see what I'm talking about. Then come back into the pose, and then you don't have to look at the screen. And we're trying to create a flat back. We come into what's called a half lift. We've come into this halfway mark between folding forward and standing straight up. Try to extend through the crown of your head. So we're feeling the length of our spine from a different angle, aren't we? Can you slide your hands down to the floor, down to your feet now? Maybe bend the knees now or soften the knees and look down and underneath yourself as you ragdoll down. Surrender to this forward fold, trying to bring the top part of your body down to meet the legs, down to the lower part of your body. Slide your hands back to where we started. So you're on your shins below your kneecaps, and you hike yourself up again. You get your rib cage up. You lift up and extend through the crown of the head. Straighten out the knees. This is a great opportunity to straighten out, to really stretch through the calves, into your hamstrings. Jump your hands to your thighs, way up high, way up by the crease of your legs and your hips. Elbows still squeeze towards your waist, squeeze in, and then come up. Come all the way up, and then just reset the body. We're going to finish off with some tapping. So find a nice, comfortable way to stand. Maybe you decide you'd like to be closer to your chair. You need a little support here. And we're going to tap top of the head. Just find a normal, fluid movement of your breath. Just feels natural to you. Tapping now at the sides, right by your temples. right at the center of your forehead. Just a tap. Under your eyes, so you're on your cheekbones. Just a tap. Under your nose, that's on your lip. I just go to one hand. And then just the chin, so you're below your lip, you're just tapping the chin. Both hands again, tapping along the collarbone. Don't worry, you just can't go wrong with the tapping. You know, we've got a lot of energy channels moving through the body, so you're certainly going to clear them, regardless of if your tapping is a little different from mine. And then just wrap around yourself, and you kind of got open palms now, all through under the armpits, the lymph nodes here, and along the body. Let's keep that up and come into the belly, solar plexus area. We're going to go down the front part of our legs, bend your knees a little bit. Down the front part of your legs. We'll come up sides of our legs. And we're going to go back down through the back side of the legs, back, 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 all the way. Pat. I use a little soft fist sometimes. That feels good. We're in the inner side, inner part of our legs, insides, insides. Come on up. We're back at the belly. We're back at the collarbones. Armpits. And relax back to a mountain pose. Again, if you can, close your eyes now. Feel the strength of your body. Let's have eyes closed and a big smile on the face as we take a quick body scan, noticing how we feel. It's kind of fun to stand up and do that, so we feel the strength and the empowerment of our practice. Let's inhale all the way in and all the way out. Flutter the eyes back open, and let's make our way to our chair for our seated posture, our Shavasana. The favorite of everybody, right? We come into our final relaxation. So scoot yourself, get your pelvis to scoot right back into the chair so you have easy access to your backrest and you can lean into that. And I hope many of you have found a way to find a really great ritual for this relaxation time, and maybe you use some different props. Maybe you're on your recliner or you're laying down on your sofa or whatever. I would really support that. Really want to encourage you to find a ritual that is meaningful for you. So close the eyes, of course, as soon as you're comfortable doing that. And a mantra I want to introduce to you for just a few minutes, or you might decide it feels very lovely to you and you want to use it to come all the way out of our practice here today. And that is Ananda Hum. Ananda Hum. Just the way it sounds, just do your best. Ananda Hum. Ananda is the word for joy, bliss and joy. Hum is like, and that is me, or I'm bringing that into me. Ananda Hum. Ananda Hum. Sometimes the hum is translated as I am this. Ananda Hum. Again, one of the benefits of a mantra is to give your mind something to do. So it helps you stay true to that intention of developing a alert and focused mind. You did a wonderful job today of creating a vibrant and healthy body. We work on our alert and focused mind in every practice. We open to our loving and compassionate heart, especially at this time, especially when we're in our final relaxation, a time of self-love and awareness, opening to our loving and compassionate heart. And the result is a lightness of being, beautiful lightness of being, the the very delight we started with. Let the chair completely hold you. Be aware that it is, that you are supported. And maybe you like to remind yourself when you're sitting in the chair that you are supported. Maybe people come to mind that are a part of your life, that are such a wonderful source of support and strength and love for you. You just want to honor that when you come into your relaxation, that you use that as a practice of always honoring what support is like in your life and the embodiment of that support in your life. Relax your shoulders, get soft in the belly. Let your legs be as your legs are. You're not trying to hold them in any special way. You're entirely held and supported by the chair or the surface below you. Soften the mouth. Let's let the teeth separate. So you want your upper teeth and your bottom teeth to just come apart so that you feel like you've got a bubble in your mouth. Your tongue is resting at the bottom of the mouth. Just notice how your breath is. Breathing all the way in and all the way out. Ananda hum. Ananda hum. Yoga's emphasis is usually on joy rather than happiness, because joy is an innate quality within, whereas happiness is reliant on what is happening. So we'll remind ourselves with the mantra, Ananda, Ananda hum. Or maybe throughout the week, once in a while, you'll remember the mudra of the inner smile. Or you just remember to notice how different you feel when you have a smile on your face. And that you're generous with your smiles this week. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose and out of the mouth with a sigh. Ah. 2 more like that. A big inhale comes through the nose, and then you sigh it out. Sigh it out. Let's flutter the eyes open. Come into a posture where you're back to awareness of the alignment of your spine. So sitting up tall, we're coming into some awareness of the alignment of your spine. Let's finish our practice by syncing up the breath as we customarily do. Inhale up, palms will come together overhead. Exhale as you bow into yourself and smiling into your own heart. Inhale up. Exhale, let's share that joy with our community. Honor the things you delight in by sharing them this week. Palms come together at the heart. We bow to ourselves. We bow to one another. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me.